What up, guys? Gibbs is back here to talk about the RLCS LAN seeding possibilities based on the online finals that are taking place this weekend. So we know 7 of the 8 teams are guaranteed LAN spots. We don't know how they will be seeded yet until we play these online final placements out. Seeding is very important because if you come in first in North America, you're going to face Europe's 4th place team in the first round of the LAN. Much better than facing the best team like Flipsid or Dem Girlz. You'd probably rather face Flying Dutchman or Supersonic Avengers, but we'll get into it as we go. So here we go. First, let's talk about the online finals points. Qualifier 2 points are worth a bit more than Qualifier 1. Like Kings of Urban, they came in second in the first qualifier. They only got 860. Now they'll get 1075 if they come in second again. So, say you had a spot like Kings of Urban and Exodus, they finished second and third. Now it doesn't matter. That's basically like a tie. Like at this point, whoever finishes higher between Exodus and Kings of Urban will beat the other team out because the points are worth a little bit more. So they won't be tied if, say, Kings comes in third and Exodus comes in second this time, where they would be averaged out at like a 2.5. That's not really how it works because the second qualifier is weighted more heavily. So we'll see Exodus actually passing Kings of Urban in that scenario. But we'll get into all the scenarios there. The biggest thing here is Cosmic. They came in 5th. They are not in the online finals at all. They have 1,600 points. That's from both qualifiers. Kings, Exodus, and Genesis are all fighting for more points during this qualifier. Then there's also Lucky Bounce, who's in these online finals, but they cannot pass any of these teams by coming in first, so we're not going to mention them here. Genesis is the one closest to them. If they came in 4th, they would finish with 1,350 points. But, of course, Lucky Bounce would only get 1,250 for a first-place finish, so they cannot make the LAN. They're still playing for $5,000, though, this weekend, so it's very important games for them. And, you know, it's a good morale boost going into whatever's coming next for RLCS. So, let's start with Cosmic. Here's the big deal with Cosmic. They have 1,600 points no matter what. They cannot finish higher than 3rd overall, which most likely means they're playing either Flipside or Dem Girlz, unless Mockit EU makes a run. First in the LAN, which is going to be a huge game. Hopefully we can open with that game. That'd be a lot of fun. But the reason why they're coming in 3rd overall is because they cannot pass Kings of Urban. Since Kings of Urban came in 2nd last time, Kings will automatically at least get 4th. So that's one spot higher than Cosmic. And again, that would be like a tie scenario. But Qualifier 2 is weighted more heavily. So Kings cannot finish behind Cosmic. That is why Cosmic cannot finish higher than 3rd overall. The other reason, so that's one of the teams. The other reason is because Genesis and Exodus, if either of them come in 2nd, then they place higher than Cosmic as well. Well, they're playing each other in the semifinals, so the winner will at least get 2nd place, so they will get more points than Cosmic as well. Now, they can get 3rd in a couple ways. If Genesis loses to Exodus, then Cosmic gets 3rd. They can also get 3rd if Exodus loses to Genesis, but then they also have to lose the 4th place game. Now, if neither of those happen, and so if Exodus gets 3rd and Genesis gets 1st or 2nd, Cosmic will come out of NA as the 4th seed. So that's it for Cosmic. Let's move on to Kings, who are the favorites to get 1st place. So, Kings of Urban. They cannot finish lower than 3rd because they're ahead of Cosmic. They only beat Exodus if they finish ahead of them. So this is that tiebreaker that I was telling you about. They have to place higher than them. They must be within 1 place of Genesis to finish better than them. So if Genesis came in 3rd and Kings came in 2nd, Kings would actually place higher than Genesis because they have more points. But if Kings beats Lucky Bounce, they are guaranteed at least 2nd. And they can actually clinch 1st place by losing to Lucky Bounce. They're the only team that can lose a semifinal game and still clinch 1st in North America. And the way that happens is if Lucky Bounce would have to beat Genesis in the final, and Kings of Urban would have to beat Exodus for 3rd. That's the only possibility. If Exodus beats Genesis, they would move ahead of them, and Kings would then get the 2nd spot. So Kings can guarantee 2nd without even playing by just if Exodus beats Genesis. They will at least guarantee 2nd, and then of course if they beat Lucky Bounce and beat Exodus, they would get 1st. Next up, Exodus. They can finish in any of the 4 spots. Whoever wins the Genesis and Exodus semifinal will at least get 2nd. which is a big deal because those two teams, whoever wins that game, will beat the other one out, and they also move ahead of Cosmic, so they will get at least second. If they finish fourth, they will get fourth, no matter what. But if they finish third over Lucky Bounce, they will grab third place. Because they would move ahead of Cosmic. Finishing third over Kings of Urban would get them second. So if Kings of Urban falls down to that fourth spot, they would actually move ahead of Cosmic and Kings. And then if they finish first, they guarantee themselves first because all they have to do is beat Kings to pass them. And they're already ahead of Genesis. But again, they're in like a tiebreaker scenario as well, but they're playing in that first round. Then finishing second with Lucky Bounce first will also get them first because they'll move ahead of Kings of Urban. And finishing second behind Kings of Urban gets them second place. So all these teams basically control their own destiny. The only one that doesn't is Genesis coming up. Genesis. So if they lose in the semifinals, 2X's, that would guarantee them fourth. Cosmic would be ahead of them in the third place spot. Winning the semifinals, though, guarantees them at least second because they'll move ahead to Cosmic and Exodus. Then they need to place 2 spots higher than Kings of Urban to grab first. So if Kings beats Lucky Bounce, they cannot get first no matter what Genesis does, even if they win and beat Kings of Urban in the finals. Yeah, Kings would have guaranteed first in that finals. So Genesis can get first, but they need some help. Second is if they just beat Exodus and then they get fourth otherwise. So they can't even actually get third place. They're the only team in this that can't finish like all 4 besides, of course, Cosmic. Now, we'll move over to Europe. And again, before we close out NA, that's how all those teams can finish 1 through 4. Lucky Bounce cannot. Lucky Bounce can't finish higher than 5th in points. So that's why we didn't talk about them there. But they can still win money. Obviously, it's still a $5,000 tournament on the line, which is a ton of money for these guys. But going over to the EU Online Finals points, Flipsid Tactics has 1,000, Dem Girlz 860, Mockit EU 740. They finished the top 3. They're back in the playoffs. They have all clinched land spots. Now, here's the one that's interesting. The Flying Dutchman, they have finished. They came in 5th in both qualifiers. They have 1,080 points. So this is a little different than the Lucky Bounce scenario, because in that scenario, Genesis guaranteed at least 4th place points in both. So Lucky Bounce could not make the land. But in this case, Flying Dutchman guaranteed 5th in both. Leaves the door open for Supersonic Avengers, who got 0 points in Qualifier 1. If they come in first, and first only, they will make the land. Second place, they lose out by 5 points. That's going to be rough if that happens to them. So let's move into the scenarios for all these teams. So flip side, they cannot finish lower than 3rd. They clinch at least 2nd with a semifinal win over Supersonic Avengers. And they can still clinch 2nd if they lose to Supersonic Avengers and a win over... Oh, wait. And a win for Dem Girlz over Mockit EU. So if Dem Girlz beats Mockit EU, Flipside guarantees 2nd no matter what, at least. And then they can clinch a first with a win in the semis. And if Mockit EU beats Dem Girlz, they would get first even before the final is played out. The reason that is because Dem Girlz and Flipside are neck and neck in points. So whoever finishes higher there will get the place above. But Mockit EU is a little bit further down in points. So Flipside could actually finish 1 place below Mockit EU and still beat them in points. Next up, Dem Girlz. They're right in the middle of the points. So they have to finish better than both Mockit EU and Flipside to pass them or to finish higher for land seeding purposes. So again, they can finish no lower than 3rd. This is the case for all 3 teams that had a lot of points anyway, between Dem Girlz, Flipside, and Mockit EU. But they can clinch at least the top 2 by beating Mockit EU. Am I talking? Yeah, all right. So I am talking about the right team. Okay. Getting a little confused here. So if they beat Mockit EU in the semis, they clinch at least top 2. If Flipside loses in the semis, plus Dem Girlz wins, then they clinch first. If Flipside wins in the semis and Dem Girlz loses, they clinch 3rd. So again, yeah, they just have to finish better than both Flipside and Mock to get that first place spot. Mockit EU can finish no lower than 3rd, just like the rest of these guys. Must place higher than Flipside by 2 spots to finish better than them for the land seeding. And then must place higher than Dem Girlz to finish better than them. They play each other in the semis, so if they win, they guarantee at least 2nd. If they lose, then they guarantee 3rd no matter what. And then, of course, they need Flipside to lose in the semis. And Mockit would have to win the online final to get that first place spot. Next up, Supersonic Avengers and the Flying Dutchman. These guys are the only two teams that don't know if they're going to the LAN yet. And here's how it works out. The Flying Dutchman clinch fourth if Supersonic Avengers does not come in first in the online final. Simple as that. Supersonic Avengers has to win the entire thing for the Flying Dutchman to not go to Hollywood. And then Supersonic Avengers can only clinch fourth by winning the online final. If that happens, that'll be insane. It's going to be a tough road for Supersonic Avengers, of course. Flying Dutchman are probably sitting pretty right now, thinking that they got it. But, of course, Supersonic Avengers controls their own destiny. So, we'll see how it plays out. But that is it. And just good luck to all these teams in the LAN finals. I'm sorry, in the online finals. Both sides are playing for $5,000. First gets $3,500. Second gets $1,500. A lot of money up for grabs. Plus spots for Hollywood. There's only one spot to be determined to go to Hollywood, but seeding is very important. You want a easier first round game when you go to the LAN because, you know, people want to win the LAN, I would expect. People don't want to play Flipside or Dem Girlz probably. So that'll do it for this video, guys. If you're still confused, it's understandable. We'll be going over it throughout the broadcast on Saturday and Sunday, and we will have your top 4 seeds at the end of those broadcasts after everything is said and done. We'll have some graphics up for them. People will be pointing it out on Reddit, so check there. Check videos here as well. I'll probably be going over it again in DFH Locker Room this week and next week. So we'll see you guys then. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you later.